Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I am talking about my December TBR. I can't believe that it is already the end of 2022. I'm already well into planning things for 2023, and there's only 1 month left of reading, of catching up on things that I haven't finished yet, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to share with you my concrete TBR for this month, which is not that large, the concrete pile, but I also will be working on some other things as well. I have a number of books off my Read or Read project that I have not even opened. Not a ton of them, I think like 4 or 5 of them. So I will likely be doing a weekend reading vlog or something like that where I do try a chapter to see if there's any of them that I feel like are worth keeping to read later. Then I also have a couple of books left on my classics TBR, and I also have kind of given up on my nonfiction TBR because I'm so far behind that. But I have read some off of that, and I am continuing one book from November into December from my nonfiction TBR, and that is The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport. I have started this one. I started it for nonfiction November, but I read multiple other nonfiction works during November, and so I started this in the second half of the month. I haven't gotten super far into it, so even though I'm recording this before December starts, I'm pretty sure that I will not even be close to finishing this by the end of November, so my hope is to finish it by the end of the year. I have some other books here that are also part of goals, so I'm going to share these first, and then I'll get into a couple of the other books that I have here. The first book is a really big one, and one I have been really excited to read all year, and that's Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is on my classics TBR. It will not be completed this year because I am partaking in a read-along of this. There will be discussions on the Literary Discourse Discord, and I am co-hosting with Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, Kate from the Literary Apothecary, Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads, and I'm pretty sure Una from Codex Cantina is joining in as well. So it's gonna be really fun. I will link Christy's announcement video down below. I meant to make one and it just didn't happen. So if this is the first that you're hearing of this, this will be a 3-month read-along, December, January, and February. There are 3 parts within this book, and so our goal is to do about 1 part a month. We are kicking off with live reading sprints on Kate's channel, Saturday, December 3rd. I think the time was 1 p.m. Eastern, but I will be sharing that so that way you'll have the time for sure, but it's going to be a good time to kick off and start reading this or just come hang out. We will also be having live reading sprints on Kate's channel once a month to kind of help keep up motivation to keep going, and we will be having a mid-book discussion and then a finale discussion on my channel. The dates for that are to be determined because we're still a ways out from halfway and the end. So anyways, I hope that you will join us if you have been looking forward to reading this. I know we've kind of been talking about it throughout the year, and Dostoevsky's just more fun to read together anyway. I feel like I always get so much more out of his works when I'm reading them with other people. So I am really looking forward to reading this one. If you look for a copy of this, it could be under the title also Devils or The Possessed. Those are all alternate titles depending on the translation. But I'll have my edition linked down below so that way if you want to get it and join along, you can. So like I mentioned, I am trying to read some books on my Read or Read project, and I have 2 books here that I had already had slated to read in December because I have been using the Buzzwordathon and also the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge to kind of help me get through these books with prompts to kind of help pick what I'm reading when. So the prompt for the Buzzwordathon, which is hosted by Kayla over at Books and Lala, is a number in the title. So for that, I'm reading The House of Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This has been sitting on my shelf for I don't even know how long. Years and years and years and years. I read The Scarlet Letter in high school and really enjoyed it and kept thinking I should pick up other things by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So I found this at a thrift store, picked it up, have never opened it. So I am looking forward to giving this one a try. I've actually heard quite a few people say that they have enjoyed this one, although my friend Dia from Novel Idea told me that it was actually kind of a good spooky season one to read. So technically I could have read it during Victober, but it fit the prompt for the Buzzwordathon. So it's getting read now. And then for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, which is hosted by Chantel Reads All Day, the prompt was a mostly white cover. So for that one, I chose To Stay Alive by Skila Brown. Like, I love this cover. I think it's so pretty. This is a library discard that I picked up at a library book sale. This is a YA free verse novel written about the Donner Party, which sounds really intriguing. I have a hit or miss relationship with YA, so don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I feel like it's gonna be a pretty fast read because it's a free verse novel. So it shouldn't be any problem for me to squeeze this in. And then my last 3 books that I have here are basically Christmas themed, although one is a buddy read that I've been planning for a while and just recently realized that it takes place during Christmas. So that's perfect. That is Cold-Blooded Myrtle. This is book 3 in the Myrtle Hardcastle series by Elizabeth C. Bunce. I have read both of the other books in this series so far this year. I read the first one, which I think was Premeditated Myrtle, in January and loved it. It was a 5-star read. And then I read book 2 with my friend Jessica and still thought it was super fun, but I think I gave that one 4 stars. So she actually bought this for me for my birthday, so we could read book 3 together, and it takes place during Christmas. So I'm super excited about it. Another very short Christmas book that I have is A Christmas Memory by Truman Capote. I remember last year talking about Christmas books and asking people what kind of Christmas books they liked to read, and my friend Dia from Novel Idea told me about this book. And then about a month or a month and a half later, I stumbled across it in a little free library and I was thrilled. So I have been waiting to read this book all year. I really don't know what it's about at all. I know that it's not anything like In Cold Blood, which is the only other thing that I've read by Truman Capote. So I know it's not like that, but I am looking forward to giving this one a try. I've heard it's good and I think it's kind of sweet. It's very short and I think it might actually have multiple stories in it. Oh, it looks like there's 3. A Christmas Memory, One Christmas, and The Thanksgiving Visitor. Maybe I should have already read The Thanksgiving Visitor, but I don't know if these are separate stories or if they build off each other, so I will read them in order just in case. And then the last book is also one that I heard about from Dia, because this TBR apparently was almost entirely influenced by Dia, and that is Joy to the World. This is an Advent reading by Charles Spurgeon. Dia posted about this in her Instagram stories, and I am a huge Charles Spurgeon fan, and my husband is an even bigger Charles Spurgeon fan. And as we're approaching Christmas, I love to have something special to read to just kind of remind myself and prepare my heart for the Advent season and remembering why Jesus came and honoring him and all those kinds of things. So I like to have something that helps me focus on that a little bit more. I like to do the same kind of thing in the Lent season leading up to Easter. So I'm really excited to read this. This is just daily, very short readings. So this is 1 page, day 1, and then that. And that's it. And I think a lot of them are actually shorter than that. Actually, no, as I'm flipping through, they're actually all about the same length. So I lied, but they're very, very short. And so I'm actually going to read these with my husband and discuss them with him. So I'm excited about this. Well, for me, I feel like this is actually a relatively short TBR, especially considering some of these books are very short or are middle grade, and one of them is spread out over 3 months. So I definitely feel like this is a smaller TBR for me, but not only is December a very, very busy month, but I also have stuff that I'm kind of trying to finish before the end of the year. So we'll just kind of see how that pans out. But I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are you planning on reading for December? I know that there are lots of really fun readathons going on right now. So maybe you're participating in those, or maybe you're like me and you're just trying to have a smaller TBR because it's a busier season and it's harder to find the time to read that you might have during other months of the year. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.